I don't know, man. It don't look as good as what it was looking last year. What do you think?
No, I don't think it's good at all. I've been reading a lot of the fine print in the 10Q, and I don't like it.
Yeah, see, that's the big thing with me. So like if you just listen to what they say, it's always these forward-looking statements that make it look better than what it actually is. And then when you go and you actually read the earnings reports, it's like, wow, they really have some language in there that makes you kind of concerned. I'll go over one of those here in just a little bit. I got to get things pulled up, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's last year there was a lot of hope, and if we had a normal market, I believe that they would be doing okay. But since the market's kind of pinned down, I think they're in a position now where they're going to have to take on more debt. I mean, they even mentioned that in the call that they're going to be looking towards taking on debt because that big cash pile they had last year, they're already burning through it. So now they're in a position where they got to take on debt, but it's going to be at a higher interest rate. So that's going to slow growth. So I hate to say it, but it feels like they're very reliant on the market doing well for them to succeed. And if I don't know if it stays pinned down for another year, it's hard to really envision them still producing with everything they have. I feel like they would at least have to sell off some of their businesses. But I don't know if you want to add anything to that or not.
Yeah, I think they should have sold Timios when the market was good. Sold it like the beginning of this year, and sold it for a lot. Now I have a feeling they're going to sell it and not get anything out of it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, and if they wait even longer, it might even be worse, honestly, because I mean, I think a lot of people will foresee some type of market crash coming, or some kind of a housing market, at least a downturn, at least because it's peaked and got so high. And if we get a recession coming, I highly doubt there's going to be a lot of buyers out there for something like that. So, I mean, if they're going to sell it, I mean, yeah, 6 months to a year ago probably would have been the best time, but now is better than never.
Yeah, I think they should get rid of it, honestly. And I do finally starting to see some action with Tree Electric, so that makes me feel a little bit better about them guys.
Subsidiaries, they really need to change. I hate to say it, but they have to change their business plan just a little bit, because if you don't, in a down market, you have to start being a little more conservative. He mentioned a couple things on there about them kind of cutting costs and whatnot here and there in different places and trying to save money where they could, but they're going to have to sell something if they want to get ahead of uh, what could come in 2023. Because I mean, let's just be realistic about it. If we get like a real recession or like something really really bad, even worse than what we're having right now, which feels terrible, but if we get something worse in 23, I don't know, because they don't have that cash pile they had last year. And what they get that up to? It was like 300 and something $1 million just cash in the bank. And now they're looking at, I think they said 80 million, but if they're burning through 60 million per quarter, our next earnings report, they're going to come out and say that there's, 20 million in there, and you know they're going to turn to debt. And it mentioned in the earnings report that they wouldn't really. Here, let me read that real quick. Let me pull that up. Give me just a minute, because I don't want to butcher it. This is the paragraph that concerned me the most. There was some other stuff in there, but this one kind of stood out to me. So it says the company has various vehicles through which it could raise a limited amount of equity funding. However, these are subject to market conditions, which are not within management's control. As our quarterly report on Form 10Q was not filed timely, we will not be Form S3 eligible until August 9th, 2023. which could make fundraising more difficult or more expensive. That's pretty big. And then it goes on and says management continues to seek to raise additional funds through the issuance of equity, like we were talking about, or debt securities. As we seek additional sources of financing, there can be no assurance that such financing would be available to us on favorable terms or at all. Our ability to obtain additional financing in the debt and equity capital markets is subject to several factors, including market and economic conditions, our performance, and investor sentiment with respect to us and our business and industry. These factors individually and collectively raise doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern. So that was the one that kind of shocked me a little bit. Now there's a lot more stuff in those reports, but that one just kind of stood out to me, and it conflicts with kind of what management was saying, about their hopes and what their feelings going to happen and whatnot. And I'm just like, I don't know. They don't mention any of the negatives in the calls, really.
Right. But I was Jason Hansen. Were you ever in contact with him much?
Yeah, I think I talked to him. Does he go by something? What's his Twitter handle?
I don't even know. It's something to do with hunting, I think.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I still talk to him almost daily, and he
is he still bullish, or because he was one of the people who was like super bullish on it last year, and
he's still bullish. And I've sent him the exact paragraph that you just read because I can't stand that.
Yeah.
And he's, oh, they have to put that in there for legality reasons. I'm like, I never remembered reading that in any of the other ones.
Yeah,
So.
no, that's and not only just that, but if you really put two and two together, you can see exactly what's happening. The cash is disappearing. You're in a market where funds are going to be a little harder to access. I don't know, man. I think if they keep trending this direction, it's not going to look good by that August 2023. I don't know. Now,
Is that like what, like a form of like further dilution?
yeah, well, if you read on further in there, they say that if they can't raise the funds, then they will turn to dilution. So if they can't raise it, they're going to dilute more. And it's like the share price is so low already that they're going to have to do a reverse split. I know some people are like, oh, they might not, but I'm telling you right now, the reverse split is going to happen right before it needs to happen. So whatever the timeline is for them being under $1, I don't know how long they had. What was it, like a year or something? It's like a 6-month period, and then you can get an extension.
Yep, it's November 12th, and then they get one extension for 180 days. So
yeah, so it's going to be pushed out even further. But when that time comes, if the market hasn't pumped by then, I really don't see any other way to do it. For me, I would just go ahead and get it over with. That way, when things are going bad, maybe it won't look quite as terrible. I don't know. That's just me. But I think that's going to happen regardless. I would do a 10-1 or a 1-10, sorry. And then you sell some businesses and focus on the main companies here in the United States. If there's anything that has anything shady involved with it, it's got to go. And if they got to change some management here and there to make it look more professional, I would do that as well. But I would definitely focus on the companies here in the United States. Now, the good part of their company is they do still have good products. They do have some good products. So the Energica Wave is a good one. They got some pretty good things coming out of U.S. Hybrid with the street sweepers and whatnot. And then Selectrek, I think that one still has some work to go, but they can have a lot of different products coming out of that division as well. So
I'm on a Facebook page with Selectrek, the owners, like Selectrek owners or something like that, and a person just bought one from rate. I don't know if they want rate direct through Select Track or whatever, but they had pictures of just frames stacked up and bodies stacked up. You know, it looks like they're getting ready to, you know, at least start pushing them out. But I don't know if they're selling either.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that either. I wouldn't even know where their factory would be. I know they had a small place and they were going to be upgrading to another facility. Um, there's no doubt in my mind about electric vehicles and commercial electric vehicles in the future. I really do think they're going to be a big thing. But at the same time, if you're a new company and you're going through a market downturn, you got to really get conservative about what you're spending on. And so if they're like blowing a lot of money on certain projects that are already deemed as being shady in the China area, and I don't think it's a good look for investor sentiment, I would sell them off and just focus on the main ones that they bought in the last year and a half.
What is that? What do they have that's still China? Just their was it? I mean, Meg was never.
Meg,
So was it?
yeah. Well, they got the Meg stuff going on. And it seems like that was the reason things were held up for the earnings reports. Is like, well, they couldn't get the information they needed from. Another thing I didn't like is they didn't address that on the call. Tony had the opportunity because on Say Technology they have a bunch of questions that are voted on by the investors.
They answered.
Yeah, well, Tony skipped over the number one question, and that was
Yeah,
about the earnings reports.
strangled that fucker. I was so mad.
Yeah, I'm like, well, why? Like he went to the softball question, which was the number two one. Oh, how do you see the future of ideonomics? I mean, anybody could tell you, oh, they could give you a fluff story if they want to, but and the number three question was pretty good too, and they didn't address that. And the way you put it was like, oh, some of these things have already been discussed in the call, so we're just going to do this one and move on. Like, what the hell? Like, I don't know. See, that kind of stuff right there is shady to me because it's like, oh, they don't want anybody to know.
Yeah, they definitely don't want. Like
People have been waiting 9
no.
plus months for an earnings report, left in the dark, and then you switch your auditing firm to get it done in time because they're probably less stringent, and you just kind of push it through, and then you don't give any explanation as to why it was held back that long. So to me, that was a little shady. I didn't like that, but yeah, I don't know. That's that was the one thing that really got me. It was at the end where they didn't answer that question.
Yeah, I went back and listened to the call, I think 3 times now, and the more I listen to it, there's more and more I don't like. So I don't know. I just
So what else from the call was you not liking?
I wasn't hearing things that I wanted to hear. I guess you could say. You know what I mean? They weren't talking about anything important.
Yeah, the most pressing questions that needed to be answered weren't answered. It was like, and that's the thing with them though. Like that's what got me in the beginning was like, I didn't need that much transparency when the stock is like flying. If you buy it at $2 and it goes up to $5, you're thinking they're doing the right things. You don't have any questions whatsoever. But when that share price goes from $5 to 50 cents, you're going to have some more questions. You're going to say, "Hey, what's going on here?" I get that the market is the number one reason that all of these speculative plays are going down. Inflation's up, interest rates are higher. I get that, but at the same time, they have trended lower because they were running about in the middle of the wave of all these other speculative plays in EV. But since they did that whole debacle, they've actually went lower. Now they're down like in Lordstown Motors and how was that other one? It was kind of like Nicola or something. I'm just like, that's not a good spot to be. That's not a good trend to be in because those are the companies that aren't believed in the most, are not believed in the most.
Now that the CEO's been out, I've been seeing a lot more hype about that, and they've actually been delivering quite a few semis. So if Alf could just get some shit delivered,
Well,
the
their
problem
thing is they pump things that are. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
they're a long ways from delivering anything. They don't have Via's not even a done deal yet. There's no
Yeah, but
factory.
they're acting like they're already there. Like they're. I feel like Ideonomics is paying them millions of dollars just for the Via clout or something, like for Via just to be like, oh, here's a potential partnership. It's coming, guys. But can it though? Can it though? Like if the share price goes down, let's say to 25 cents next year, is how does that even work? Because they had it set up to where it was like they had to restructure it even one time to where it was going to be like $1.25 or something, like an estimate.
Right.
I just don't know, man. I don't know.
I
I
don't see
know
it.
I know they want it to work, but I'm just wondering if you go into next year and it's still been this long and the market's been downturning and share price is even lower because they haven't really produced anything.
Well, a
What
lot
if
of this money they're giving Via doesn't go towards like the bill that they're paying for it either. Only the first couple, was going to come off the principal, the price of that they were going to pay for Via. But these last 20,000 million here, 12 million here, 9 million there. That's all just they're just giving it to them basically.
yeah, just so they stay afloat. But Ideonomics doesn't have anybody giving them that kind of money so they can stay afloat. You know what I mean? Like the market's getting hammered and Ideonomics is giving them money, but who's giving the Ideonomics money? Nobody. There's like the money is leaving. So I mean, I get to be hopeful, but like I can't be so blinded to say like, oh yeah, everything's gonna work out, and they don't have money to make it work. It's and the best case is like if they were to get bought out. But the only way somebody's going to want to buy them out is if they have like a streamlined vision. They don't have like a bunch of different random companies. Like if they just have commercial EV in the United States, maybe. But if they're kind of everywhere and they've got all these issues that make the earnings reports delay, who wants that? Do you think Tesla is going to come along and be like, "Hey, I'd like to buy your company so that we have to have our earnings delayed and we lose investor sentiment"? No. So they're going to have to streamline their business. They're going to have to get their shit in order because people don't like seeing that. They don't want to keep investing somebody if they don't even know they're going to be able to not look at their numbers throughout the year. And this wasn't the first time. If you guys remember back last year, it was Timios that screwed something up. And I think that was like, what, a month or a month and a half delay before we could see that ER?
They got hacked or something.
Yeah. So it's not the first time. And then it just got worse from there. So I don't know. Like, I want to get behind them and just be super bullish because they do have some really good products and whatnot. But like, just I feel like there's some changes that need to happen, especially if they like. I believe 2023 isn't going to be like a booming year. If anything, it's going to be flat, or it might be even be worse. We might be sitting in a pretty deep recession by then due to the housing market. But if that's the case, how are they going to grow? How are they going to get money? Because they're not self-sufficient. When they sell their products, they're not making enough money to grow their business. All that money goes right back into the debt that they're going to have to raise. It's like, I don't know. I know it seems like I'm being super bearish, but I don't know. Just looking at the numbers and whatnot, and how it looks in the market, I don't love it right now. But if you're one of those people who like to buy something at a really good discount, like whenever nobody believes in it, like now into next year might be a good time to start buying. But if you bought it like $5, you're going to be waiting a while. I really feel like you're going to be waiting a while before it's going to get back up to that range.
Well, when you factor in reverse splits, and it's going to take even longer.
Yeah, well, with the reverse split, you can get to $5, but it's not gonna feel good because you're gonna have a lot less shares. But
Oh yeah.
now, that doesn't really affect. I mean, in a way, it affects the share price because of the sentiment and whatnot. Um, with the down economy, I think you're going to see a lot of these companies who are in that lower range. They're going to have to do the same thing though, just because we all know that speculative companies don't do well in the market downturns. So if their share price is dropping, of course they're going to have to do something to raise their share price to stay on the Nasdaq. Um,
Have you anybody heard anything about VIA? I mean, why aren't they? They haven't even talked about it. It sounded like right after ER they were going to get within the 40-day or 42-day voting window.
I don't know. That's the thing, though. I don't even know if they're able to do it. Like, I feel like they would have to end up doing another. I'm not familiar with the name of it, but they put out like a document or something to show you that this is how many shares they would get at this share price. So they restructured it last time because the share price had fallen from the first time they announced it. And now it's to the point where, we're sitting at what, 50 cents a share. So how many shares is that going to be that they get of the Ideanomics float? So I'm not real sure. I mean, what was the deal valued at, anyways, initially?
I think it was 480 million, and then 130 million extra for something else.
480 million. And the current market cap of Ideanomics right now,
250.
what was that number again?
I think it's at 250 if it's at 50 cents. 247.
Yeah, you got it. 250 million. So it's like this deal it almost feels like it puts them underwater at this point. But I get that they get that value once they close it. But honestly, I'm not a professional like financial advisor or anything, so I can't say exactly how that's going to play out. But just looking at it from somebody on the sidelines, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, currently Ideanomics is worth 250 million, and they want to pay for something that's going to be 430 something million. I just, I feel like they're going to have to wait until the market does some pumps again because I think the share price of Ideanomics will follow the market if it pumps again. But how long is that going to be, though? That's the question. How long? If you believe in the market that it's going to take off again, then sure, Ideanomics is going to have the money they need to do what they need to do with. Because what they'll do is they'll wait until the share price goes up, then they'll money snatch through dilution. But when the share price is a lot higher, the dilution doesn't feel as bad. You don't notice it as much. But if it's down here at 250 million and they have to dilute, a certain amount of millions, you're going to feel it a little more. You're going to see it in the share price. So I mean, that's what they did last year. It was smart of them to dilute when the share price was inflated. That was a smart move, but they weren't the only ones doing it. There was a lot of companies that were like, "Hey, we're overvalued, so we're going to grab some of this money and put it aside for a rainy day." Well, the rainy days have been here a lot of days now, so um, yeah, I don't know, man. It really depends on how long this market stays pinned down. To me, in my opinion, that's what I think it's gonna take. We need a normal market, and we need them selling some things and tightening on spending and finding a way to grow still. But without us being in the company and seeing what they're actually doing, or without them being transparent and letting us know exactly what they're doing, it's kind of hard to tell. So, are you still holding a pretty big position? Or are you waiting for it to pump? Or are you long term on this one? Or
I don't even know. 159,000 shares.
Woo. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of shares. And your plans looking forward, you're just trying to get a hold of Alf and figuring out their plans going through this, or because to be honest, I sold a lot of my shares in April because I just couldn't take them not being transparent. I just couldn't take it anymore because there was so much wrong happening and the earnings delay and they weren't saying anything, and there was just so many factors that made me want to sell. And it took a lot for me because I was really bullish on it last year. And then they just started, I don't know, it feels like everything just started falling apart. So I think the first red flag for me was when Shane sold it $2 a share. If I was smart, I should have been like, oh, well, there's probably a point that he did it. But there was a story that it was a mistake or accounting error or something like that. But looking back on it now, I can see that it really wasn't a mistake. I don't know how you view that, but to me, that's what it was.
Well, luckily I get direct. I talked to that Jason Hansen. Like I said, I can text him. He'll text me right back. Luckily, he can email Elf any time of the day, and Elf will reply to him within 5 minutes. I don't know how, if Elf's so busy, he's got that much time, but
Yeah, there's a couple of people in that. Are you in their little IDEX group? Because I got a.
no, I'm not.
You should ask them about that because I don't know if they think or they saw a post of yours, they thought you were bearish or not. I don't know, but in that group, basically, you can't say anything negative about Ideanomics at all, or they think that you turned into a bear and they'll basically kick you out of the group. It's like a
Yeah, no,
constant
is
patting
it a
each other on the
Twitter
back.
group or what?
What's that?
Was it a Twitter group or what?
Yeah, it's a Twitter group. It's a message group. I was invited into it, and last year, and I did some promoting for Ideanomics, and I talked to them. I got to meet some of them, and they would share, emails and stuff. But see, my thing was always, why does it always have to be through email? Why can't they just be telling everyone this? There's investors everywhere. Why are you more important than these other investors who probably have a lot of money in it too? And so that was a big thing for me, and I don't know, just the way the group was, like you had to constantly be patting them on the back for little things. And, when the market was pumping, that was a little easier to do than when you see them screwing up and the market is bad. So I quit the group
Well,
and,
it's the most bearish I've ever heard Jason. So that's uh, it's not a real good sign.
yeah, I'm, yeah, he was super bullish back whenever I was in there. And we butted head a couple times, but I don't have anything wrong with him as like a person or whatever. But I just didn't agree with what they were saying. I felt like they were being blind to it because they were bullish and because they had a bunch of money tied up in it. And I get that. Like I get putting a lot of money into something and you not wanting to lose it, but at the same time, like there's other people listening to you and they're putting their money in it. So I kind of looked at it from that perspective as well. And also I just, when I first started, man, I didn't know much about investing at all. And I learned a lot through them, but also through my own studying of, charts and looking at the ERs and the balance sheets and whatnot and seeing how much they're spending, how much is coming out, how much they have left. And yeah, a lot of people don't do that though. They just say, "Oh, this is my selection," and it's either gonna ride or die. And I'm like, I guess I'm not like that. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, if we were all smart, we would have just all invested in Amazon and Tesla.
Yeah, we would have. But that's the thing, though. A lot of people saw Ideanomics as like some of the people advertised it as the next Tesla. Like the Tesla of commercial vehicles was the story whenever I was getting into it. And I think everybody was kind of looking for that next one because Tesla did so amazing that people were like, well, they've already made what they've made, but is there any other ones out there that can do the same thing? And I think below them was like Neo, and then there was Lucid and Rivian and some of those bigger names.
Yeah, I'm invested in all of them too.
Yeah, they're good companies. I think those two are going to make good money. The Rivian and Lucid. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Neo is going to do just fine, but I tend to try to stay away from Chinese companies because you never know if some shit happens between countries and whatnot. I don't know how that plays out, but
Yeah, I don't. The only one I don't have any is Li Auto. I have quite a bit of Xpeng and Neo, only because their numbers are kick ass. I mean, they're going to be turning profit within the next year already. So
hmm
they're
yeah,
they keep saying, oh, they're going to pull the Chinese stocks off our exchange, but then when the time comes, they rewrite something and say, oh no, we're
hmm
so.
Well,
I
it's easy. It's easier to say you're going to pull them off the exchange when you're not getting the money, but if the market flips, though, they'll be begging to be on the market because that all that money, you can't get that much money anywhere else. I mean, it's a huge pool of money. So
Well,
yeah.
there was a time I think Neo was behind on reporting certain numbers to the SEC. They got all up to date as of now with everything. So I actually I actually bought a bunch more of it when it hit stupid like low, like $14 a month or so ago. I just couldn't believe it, so I ended up buying a whole bunch more. I actually averaged up.
Are you in charging companies? Because I think those are going to benefit a lot in the
I,
future.
s- I buy a charge point at 11 and I
Okay,
sell it
let's go.
at 17. I do it all the time.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Oh, that,
I'm in charge point pretty heavy. Um,
I cannot hold that thing though because I already know when it goes to like right now it's at like 19.
it'll
I
fall
think
back down.
that thing's gonna dump back down to 12. So I don't have it right now. I'm gonna wait till it goes down and I'll buy it again. I've done it 4 times now.
Hey, that's some good money. Now, I will say one of these times it'll probably tick up, and then I don't know if you lose the ability to do that, but
I see it doing that in
um,
the market, but maybe when the market comes back to a little normal, I
yeah,
definitely missed the boat on ChargePoint because they're the biggest ones in the whole U.S. You know what I mean? They're bigger than EVgo, and that's their only competition.
hmm yeah. Well, that and of course Tesla is going to have their chargers out there as well, but um, I think ChargePoint they're going to really benefit because now you got your legacy automakers making EVs and whatnot. And there's like this huge big push to just go EV by like 2030. So to me, I'm like, I don't. It's not even a question. It's like it's easy. I mean, ChargePoint's the leading player, so why not stock some in? And if you can make some money on the short term between the 11 and 17, go for it. Um,
Yeah, I already know we're gonna have bad news. I'm already expecting bad news every month. So
it seems like it gets worse and worse each month.
we have
But
bad news, the
now I'm
market.
at the point where I'm like excited to hear it because I'm like, oh, good. That means it'll stay down a little longer and I could throw some more money into these different plays that I like. Because see, I'm from Missouri, so like I don't have like this huge bank of money just to a vault of money to throw at stuff. So like I had initially whenever I first started, but now it's just like any extra that I get from like my working, I throw in there. So while things
Yeah,
are down, I'm like, hey, if I got 6 months to a year to throw extra money in at these prices, I'm going to make a killing in like 2024 when things start kind of turn around again.
yeah. I own a body shop, so basically, when we hit busy seasons like when deer start moving around and people hitting them with the cars,
Yeah.
we get just an overabundance of money in our business account, so I just transfer it over. So I just use that money all the time for my put right in Robinhood and TD. I got both of them, but
Nice.
honestly, nowadays I'm liking Robinhood a little bit better. It's just so much faster.
Yeah, Robinhood's pretty smooth. I'll talk with Bill. He's in here now. I'm gonna invite him to speak. Are you in the Discord?
Yeah, yep,
Okay, I was gonna say Bill over here. His name in there is Gunsmoke. So you probably heard of him before.
yep. I've seen them. Yeah, I just got on your guys' Discord. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago or something.
Okay, yeah, I'm still working. I haven't given an update in a couple weeks, but yeah, it's an ongoing process. When stocks are down, it's a little harder to get people in there. You know, especially the people that invested at the top. You know, a lot of those people who just started on Robinhood, they're new. They don't know much about trading.
My average is $1.50. So I don't feel horrible about my average. I'm just worried about the reverse split, because my goal was as many shares as I could get. It was never, what I didn't care really about the stock price right now. But now seeing that they can't get the dang thing close to $1, I already know the reverse split's coming.
Yeah, I'd say so myself, and I mean, I have my own opinion on it, but I would just get it over with. I'd get that over with. I'd sell the company that I need to sell now, get it all squared up, and then blitz the media and investors with the new vision. It's be real with them, just have transparency, and just let them know that hey, times are tough. You have to understand that. You got to bear with us during this year, but we have this plan, this ABC plan to get through any kind of rough economic time, and we're still going to be building, but it just won't be as fast as what you expect in 23 if the market is down. That's all they have to say, and I'd be like, all right, cool, invest more, because it's keeping it real with you.
They don't say nothing to us.
I know, and that's the problem because it opens this void for people to just make their own opinion, and why would you think anything positive when everything's been negative? So they have to get out in front of that. They have to do better there, and if that's firing Tony Sklar and putting somebody else in his position,
But
so
he's not.
be it.
I can't stand that fucking guy.
Yeah, he's oh man, he's something else.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he's still there. I mean, seeing the money those guys make, and he don't do anything. He's supposed to. He's an investor relations. He's supposed to be talking to us the most. I don't know if I've ever heard him other than on the ER calls.
Yeah, yeah, the ER calls. One time last year he did something I thought was pretty cool, and then he just kind of disappeared off the map. But that's what they do. They take these long hiatuses. You don't hear from them for so long, and then you're just like, what's going on? Are they switching somebody out or something? And then the thing with Kristen, it's like, I don't know. I just don't know, man. It's just too much for me. For me, I'm just like, I'm not about that kind of management. I like things to be, on time and transparent. That's what I'm looking for, and that's not asking much out of a public company. you
Um,
know.
They don't know what transparency means.
Hey, Bill, I sent you an invite to speak. I don't know if you got that or not. You might check. I don't know where you have to look for that. Yeah, I'm not sure on your end. I'm not used to accepting an invite or whatever, but one has been sent to you. Yeah, transparency is the number one thing for me. Like, even if things are bad, I get it. But as long as you're like, hey, this is what's going on, I'm not going to give you any fluff. Just so you know, this is what's going on, and we can change things, and here's how we're going to do it. That would be fine by me. What's up, Bill?
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just enjoying this afternoon. A little afternoon delight talking about ideonomics.
Yeah, I was listening. I was just got in. I was actually driving somewhere. And I just got into it, and I started listening the last 5 minutes. see what's going
Oh
to
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. We've talked about a couple things, but not really. Well, I don't know. We've kind of covered a lot of different bases in this call, but the whole thing's recorded, so I can put it somewhere if you want me to.
Yeah, it's no problem. I definitely I wanted to hear the rest of it, but you already know where I stand with that. Um, I knew a lot of stuff was gonna happen. Like he was buying too much too quickly. It was too much. I understood what he was doing, what the reasoning behind it, but it's too fast. There's not enough funds, not enough investors, especially the state of the market. The market's not doing well right now, so it's not. I mean, when billion-dollar companies are suffering and they didn't do anything wrong, there's something, and their numbers are good, and people are still selling. I don't know what to say with a market like that. I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about some of those other players, some of
Yeah, I
the
mean, some other companies like,
profitable ones, some of the bigger one, like Palantir. You know, I like
yeah,
we're all about that, but man, their numbers are beautiful, man. They have no debt. They're like making crazy amounts of money. Their revenue goes up every time. And look at where they're at. It's like, good Lord, man,
yeah,
this market is wrecked.
yeah. If a company like that is in that position and with the money they have, I don't know what to expect from anything else. I'm just hoping to turn around. Keeping my shares and I'm slowly buying in everything from Meta to everything. Just buy a couple of shares here, a little bit of everything. I mean, I'm running into problems now, like with Robinhood. I got in and about 8 something. Now it's 11. I don't know what to do about that. I want to buy more shares, but I hate, I hate. uh,
You hate buying when you think it's at the top
no, no,
for a short term or in a bad market.
yeah, well that and I just I'm trying to wait until it comes down a little bit to add some more because I don't have enough shares of it. Like I got Ideonomics. I got shares in all my trading accounts. I'm good. Or whatever happens there, I'm fully invested in that particular stock. I don't have enough of Meta. I don't have enough Palantir. I don't have enough of when I set a goal on each stock, how many shares I want to own, and I don't have enough. And the ones particularly the ones that I like, and but the ones that I like are starting to go up. I'm upgrading. I'm adding to mankind. So it went down a little, so it's perfect for me. I'm still green on it actually, and a few stocks like Robinhood and a few other ones. I averaged down, and now I'm actually up on all of them. So I'm doing all right with all the other ones.
Well, that's good to hear. While a lot of other people are bleeding over here. Bill, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
Hey, I bled enough with Ideonomics. Okay, I
No, I know
I
it's
gave
been
a
it's
I
been a
forget about
long
half a
bleed,
pint.
man. It really
I gave
has.
half my body of the blood, half the blood of my body's into that one. But it does not the money. I don't know what the hell I'm crying about. Everything's going really well for me, and the stock market wise because I'm averaging all my accounts are not far from what their current prices are, which is fantastic. So I shouldn't be complaining. I shouldn't. I'm doing quite well, and I told everyone, diversify. That's the best thing because even if I'm down on Ideonomics, 50% down actually. Um, at 50, what is it? 50, 51, 51, I think it is today. I'm like 50% down. So other than that, everything else is just about I'm either green or close to the price. So I'm pretty good. I shouldn't be crying about it. I just don't like not Mr. Poor not reporting something so serious as, and everyone's asking the question, um, why? What was the delays? Explain yourself. I mean, you have to explain
Yeah,
yourself. So I'm really, really upset about it. I mean, to the point that I contacted just about everybody about it, from CNBC, from the investigator units, all kind of stuff. I'm a person that I don't stay quiet. If you don't, I mean, I call, they don't answer the phone. They transfer. Oh, we're not taking calls for the inquiries. And I'm like, oh, whatever. it's a runaround, and I don't like it. It's just like I know that there's legal aspects to it that he's not. If he's if the Chinese division, if he's doing something with that, he's not allowed to talk about it. And I know I'm not a dummy. I know there's a lot of legal uh, um, things that has to be maintained. I know that, um, and and he's not allowed to buy certain shares. He's not to buy this and that. Maybe he's working on something he's not allowed to speak on. That's why he can't buy shares right now. At this price, I expect insider buying. If they don't, that's a red
Yeah.
flag for me. Wow, mankind, they're buying. We're talking about all different levels of management buying in. That's a great sign. I like to see that. Every now and then buy a few shares. I'm not saying to buy, it's like he did at $1.19. I think he bought 75,000 shares.
Yeah. Alf back in
Yeah,
January or
he bought
something.
like a
Yeah.
75,000. I'm not saying to buy 100,000. They would show us that you put 25 K into this, and maybe another 25 later on or something. Show you, you're still in the game. Some interest.
Yeah, because we're looking at it and we're thinking, man, this thing it's cheap now.
Yeah, if he's
Like
not buying at this
it's all the way
price,
down. If he was buying at $1 or something, why isn't he buying at 50 cents? Like it's half price.
yeah,
Like,
that's a major red flag there. That doesn't.
and it shows they're getting paid, so it's not like he's not. It's not like he doesn't have
Oh
money.
no,
Like
he's
he's
getting
getting
paid
paid well.
well.
So
So I know he has the money, but again, he can have restrictions because of the China division. He may
yeah,
have
yeah.
restricted. He can't buy stocks. He can't do this, and he cannot disclose any of this until the deal's done. So we're back to that. But at the very least, can you disclose that you're not allowed to disclose the reason for
Yeah,
legal?
there you go.
Can
See,
you
that'd be
just can
fine.
you?
See that? See
There's no breaking any law saying that.
exactly,
So
and that's part of being transparent,
right.
which has still been the issue for a year and a half, 2 years, however long it's been.
So
It's like,
at the
yeah,
very least, can you do that for us? And I can't get a response. So I contacted a lot of people. Let's see. I haven't checked my emails yet, but because I've been busy. But I'm gonna see if any response. If he won't answer my questions, I'm sure he will from other reporters and stuff on the topic. And whether it brings heat on the stock or not, I don't really care. Um, I think what's right is right. And if you need a little heat, a little slap in the face from time to time, so be it. And I'm a shareholder. I don't care. When you're doing something wrong, hey, I don't care. I need it out in the open. And I'm very, I've never, look, in all the years I've been trading, I never had this problem. I don't even know what to do. I mean, I've always had
mm-hmm.
email contact with, even Robinhood. Jesus Christ. I sent them an email within one
Yeah, we'll get back to
hour.
you pretty quick.
They sent me a response. What the hell? Robinhood, of all people, like, asked them something about the stock. Okay, this is what's going on, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Within an hour, I was so amazed that I bought more shares.
Yeah,
Yo, I was
that's good. I
so
like that.
amazed.
Here's some more.
At least he contact me. If you don't know something, sorry, we can't comment on that. But I'm hearing what you're saying, and your concerns will be addressed. A standard, you can have a computer do that for you, a bot, So, but we have none of that. No um, investor support, which is at the beginning is the most important thing I would think a CEO would think about. Wow, put up a staff, hire 3 or 4 people, and just to answer questions, and have them make sure that these are the answers that we're allowed to say. Go through with them and show a little one-to-one with your investors. Understand? Little things like that.
I think they're afraid. I'm starting to think they're afraid to talk to people like they're gonna just roast them the whole time
Because
or something because of their mismanagement.
look, they've been sued already. They've had a few actions against them for that very same thing, from for making promises he couldn't keep, blah blah blah. Things change. He bought a place that he thought he can change, He had to sell it later on because inside the walls they had some chemicals or some nonsense, and it cost so
Oh,
much.
the
The
New
plant,
Jersey
no,
facility.
another plant that they had to sell it, and they
Oh,
got reamed for it. They got reamed for it. They promised like 10,000 jobs in the area, blah 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 blah, or whatever it was, and they got reamed for it. Really, they got lawsuits and all that nonsense because how do you, it was unless you break the walls open, you won't know that the chemicals that were being used. He had no knowledge of it. So
That was FinTech Village.
yeah.
yeah.
So
I thought that was in New Jersey, but
they got rid of that. They got sold the property, took the money back, and all that. But he took a beating on it, real beating. Like he broke his promises. He made the town promises he never kept. Blah blah blah. But like I said, there are so many different things that can go wrong with anything you're doing, and I don't fault him for that because I've seen it happen. I mean, how many times I go to a job site and we couldn't do it the way they customer wanted because it was just impossible, and I have to explain it.
the thing I'm wondering about though. Sorry to cut you off. You can go ahead and finish that
Hmm?
thought, but the thing I'm wondering about is like what happens is they're creating a pattern of this though, and that's what's causing people concern. Is like, okay, that happened. Okay, then Medici happened, and then oh, now this other thing is
And
happening.
you know
You know, they
why
promised
it's
Via
happening?
in this.
You know why
It's
it's
like,
happening? Too many divisions. Too many divisions.
yeah,
And I understand he wants it all like an ecosystem that all helps each other and they complement each other. I got you. I understand. But you got to do it
mm-hmm.
little by little. Patience. Why you have to do it all at once? Every month, every 6 months, you got to get something else. No. First, secure your base. Get your main three divisions. Get them some contracts. Focus your time on that. Go to Disney, go this, or you got Universal now for Wave. I got you. They did a great job with that. They're employed. They
Mm-hmm.
deployed them. They're working fine. Good. Show that results to Disney. Show that results to other theme parks, and continue reinforce what you have, and then later on, go. He's buying battery companies and all other stuff. He's buying. He's getting into everything. It's like I understand what you're trying to do, but you're doing it with money that you don't have.
Yeah,
So
especially in a bad market.
yeah,
It's him having to realize that hey, I do have to pump the brakes now because I can't just keep buying all these companies with dilution money because it's run out. Like, what do I do now? Okay, now I have all these companies that are going to want money from the teat of Ideonomics,
yeah.
and what are you going to do?
Huh? And you know that he's paid out
Yeah,
to he's paid out to people already. You know that, right?
paid out to who?
To we're talking about class action suits and private suits. He's
Oh,
already paid out a
yeah.
few of them already, and he's so, I guess, shell shocked by that. He's not. He's not like having it anymore. So he's tight-lipped. But that's you're destroying your investor base like that. I'm sorry, but you do. I mean, you make mistakes. You have to screen yourself. Say what you are. The investors gave you questions. Take the top 10 questions and answer them all. What are you doing?
Yeah,
I
let
mean,
me.
come on, not answering
Yeah,
one.
no. Oh,
Come
sorry
on.
guys, we're out of time here. Let me take the softball question. Let me give you the top three that he had.
Wow.
Okay, so the number one question was, What is the leaders or leadership's answer for missing the last earnings?" That was the number one
Yeah.
question,
Come on.
and he skipped it.
That's
And he went to the softball question of, "What are your plans for growth in the
oh
coming year?" I
yeah.
mean, that's a softball. And then number three was, "Is Ideonomics having a reverse split?" That's a good question. I think it's obvious that they will have to, but if the market stays down.
Right.
But yeah, I just don't understand why he skipped the number one question. That's not a good look, you know?
At the very least, he should have said, "I'm unable to answer you because of legal
Uh huh.
ramifications," Okay,
But
that
his
I can accept
response,
that. But
yeah, his response was that, oh, some of these things have already been covered in the call. No, they were not.
no,
They were
what the
they
hell
were
are you
not
talking
covered in the
about?
call whatsoever. Yeah.
Right.
Unless he's talking about question like 4 through 7 or something, because yeah, 1 and 3, those were the ones people were really wanting to know
Oh
about.
yeah. I mean, I wasn't interested in dividends, though. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh my
That
God.
makes
What?
me laugh. I was like,
Dude, every
dividends.
single time that
We're
question
keeping
comes
from.
up, every single time, I'm like, why?
We're fighting to
Why?
get. We're trying to stay alive here and not get
Yeah, let me
delisted.
throw some money in your pocket
Tell 'em,
for nothing. Like,
I said, you want to make dividends? I guarantee you a smart way to do it. So go on and whatever platform you're trading on and allow your shares to be shorted. Those will be your dividends. Allow your shares
yeah,
to
there
be
you go.
shorted, and those are all the dividends you're gonna get. And you get a lot of it. There's a lot of shorting going on. So you'll get it. I mean, we have had a 17% reduction in shorting, but because that's not too much. There's how much can it go down? So, that's changed.
Honestly, it can go further because we're at 250 million, but it's possible to go lower.
Of
I'm not
course,
saying it will, but yeah, that sucker could go down to,
go down.
125 million,
Uh,
199, like
yeah,
it's one of those things that people think, oh, this is the cheapest it's ever going to get. And then it goes down another 10 cents and you're like, Jesus Christ, well, maybe this is the lowest it'll ever get.
hey, I averaged down from 387, okay, to a dollar, and
Now you're down there. Now,
I'm on a dollar, and I thought, nah, I'll get it down to a dollar. It'll never go past that. Yeah, right. And I'm still. I said I was so happy when I got I had to do all the trading accounts. I worked on one at a time, and I got them down to a dollar. I think it's one is $1.18 or something like that. But I got everything else down to a dollar, and I'm saying, oh, I did good, and yeah, and it goes down to 50 cents. So
yeah. But basically, the numbers aren't there, guys. Like, they're just not. If you look at the balance sheet, they're not there, man. They're just not. They're burning through cash. That
uh,
cash pile is going to be gone by well, I won't say next quarter. They'll still have some change left on it.
my,
But the following quarter, if they're spending the same way they are, it'll be gone, and they'll be working mainly off of debt. And like I stated earlier, I read that paragraph. It's also in the Discord. It's about them and their inability. It's possible that they won't be able to raise as many funds because of their delayed earnings reports in the 10Q or something like that.
mm,
I think it was like August 2023 is when that could kind of ease up a little bit, but held by then, they could be in a pretty bad situation. So,
and
and then last case, they said if they can't get money, if they can't raise the debt needed to keep up with all their businesses and whatnot, then they would turn to more dilution, even at a low price, which is scary. I'm like, good Lord, you're going to dilute at these prices? I
yeah,
mean, you got to do what you got to do, but my goodness, I don't know.
yeah, that's I don't know. I'm just worried about getting delisted. That's all. That happens. We're dead. That's it. There's no coming back. I think I heard of one company ever come back from getting delisted. One company I heard of, but they generally never come back unless they come back as separate entities. Like Wave comes back by itself, and then others. But
Yeah.
um, after you do that, then you're gonna have everyone vying for the ownership of the different divisions from creditors. Understand?
Yeah.
So they'll put a dampener on any progress from all the different divisions. So it's in other words, it'll be dead. You know?
Well, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Just like I mentioned in the Discord, I hope it doesn't happen just because of the people that I've met through the years. The investors and whatnot.
Uh,
Everybody is on the same page. They want it to succeed, and it's a really good vision. It really is a commercial EV business. Not only is it good for investing, but it's good for the world. Um, it's just a matter of how you go about doing it. Is it actually going to work? Are they going to have the money to fund it?
Hmm.
Randy, you're kind of cutting out. I can't hear you very well. Still not working very well. Kind of, I don't know what happened there. I could hear you plainly earlier, but now it's kind of like. Oh, I heard the better. Say something again. I'm sorry, man. Here, I'm gonna mute you for a second, and then. Okay, go ahead and try again, Randy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but we can't hear a word you're saying.
Yeah, I can't hear a word he's saying.
That's all right. He's probably got to go anyway. I got to get going here in about just a couple minutes, but yeah, I kind of went over some of the doom and gloom kind of things, and then I also talked about the good things, because there are some good things still. They have good products, and they have some recent deals and partnerships and whatnot. So it's not all bad, but man, it's trending that direction, in my opinion.
Right.
So I'm not trying to bash them and whatnot. What I want to do is I want to get to the truth. I think you know that. I'm not out here trying to bash him, but I do want to find out what's actually going on.
Yeah, that's my only concern. When I have a lot of shares of any company, I want to know how I can't proceed. I can't proceed if I don't have the information. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to short the stock or or sell my shares. Everybody's different. Everyone. I never short any stock, but everyone has their trading methods. And some own stocks, they short some shares to cover. They do different trading methods, and I understand that. And that's what you're good at. That's what you do. But I can't make a decision on it whether to buy more shares or get aggressive again with this company if I don't have. I need that information. I mean, what's going on? Um, you held up for 8 months, and you feel that you're not obligated to tell the investors why? Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had 8.5 months, 9 months, whatever, to prepare some kind of answer for that
All
question.
right.
You knew it was going to be coming, and then it ends up being the number one question on Say Technologies, and you have a couple weeks at least to
Yeah.
prepare some kind of response to it, and you do nothing. And that's just, that's a slap in the face. Really, it is.
It got me really upset to the point that I made a lot of a lot of calls. I did a lot of stuff that I would not do as a shareholder. And if I was shorting a stock, I was doing things that short sellers do to companies. I was like basically a short seller with my inquiries. you know? So I was like, what am I doing here? But I need the truth. I mean, that's the only thing I can do to get it, then so be it. it that's what I'll do, you know?
Can you guys hear me now?
Oh,
Oh, I
yes.
can hear you plain as day.
Yes, we can.
Yep.
My question earlier was, has anybody heard any more about anything about Indiana?
I don't even remember what was supposed to be going on in Indiana. Was it Wave or?
No, it was something to do with I don't remember which one. They wanted to build a factory. Indiana was going to pay for the whole thing.
Oh, was it InnoBat or something? Or
Oh,
It
for the
was.
battery, that's still on. That's
yeah,
still
yeah,
on.
yeah. The batteries,
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
that's what I was referring to earlier. Yeah, that's still on though. They're still working on that. What's on hold
Yeah.
It's funny, it's the way Alf was making it sound to me was that they were going to give us a lot of money just to come there. So I didn't know if that was still a deal or not.
no, that's still running. That's still running. What's on hold is the VIA deal. He's saying that due to the this and that. Okay, that I understand, but he's that battery deal is still running. So far as I know, it's on point. But everything
But
else,
that's not 100% Ideanomics though, is it?
no,
It's like a partnership with InnoBat or something.
right.
So I wonder what numbers they get
They
out
got
of
a
that, like
percentage.
70-30 or
No, it's a percentage. It's not a 100% thing. It's a percentage from that. So
yeah. I'll look into that a little bit more later, and I'll post something on Discord on it and see if I can dig and find something there. But I do remember them saying that they were the governor was rolling out the red carpet for them, which makes sense. A lot of people know EVs are going to be taken over, so probably a good idea for governors and whatnot to bring in these battery manufacturers and battery recycling places as well. That's going to be huge.
right.
So, yeah, there's no doubt they're making some of the right moves they need to be making. But at the same time, you look and you're like, why the hell aren't they at least talking to their investors? Like, why does it have to be just through emails? Like, I don't know.
Well, he never answers mine. I
Well,
email
if we
him
were
constantly.
Jason Hansen, he'll call him and talk to him by phone.
Yeah, well, he's like that. But then there's another guy too, Dylan Womack.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, he's in the group too. Like I said, I was in that group for a while, but I couldn't do it anymore because just the inflated senses of I don't know. I don't want to go into it all, but it just seems like a lot of the things they were talking about in there, they had connection with emails and whatnot, but hardly nothing materialized out of it. So what's the perk of that? And if you have information that actually is going to work, isn't that like insider information kind of, you know what I mean? So that's why I was like, I don't know, man, didn't feel like it was worth it at the time.
Yeah, I don't like listening to people say, "Well, I heard from someone that works in the office." I don't want to hear that. I don't want no involvement in that. I don't want to trade on that information. I don't even acknowledge I even heard it.
Yeah. I'd much rather
Sorry.
get it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Just come out and say it. Like if it's going to actually happen, why wouldn't they put it out and PR it? Why would they just tell somebody in an email?
Well, I've tried calling them. I've tried emailing them. I've tried it all, and just to get a simple question answered, and they're not putting it out. They're not responding. So no response. So far, they have no
Oh,
response.
this this week we've had a couple of decent PRs, and I was surprised nothing happened with our stock price.
Uh,
You said the last couple of weeks we've had good PRs.
We've had a couple good PRs, about the ABC thing, and then what was the other one we had? We just had two pretty decent ones.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah,
You
we
got
had a
a
few back to
partnership with.
back.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true. A few weeks ago, we had a few good, really good announcements, and what happened? The stock didn't go anywhere.
it went down more.
Yeah.
Well, I think after seeing those earnings reports and like people having time to read through them actually and not just go off of what they heard in the earnings call, I think people are a little bit weary. They're like what they're saying isn't quite matching up to what it's saying in the earnings reports. I mean, just take time, just read through those first. I mean, you've already read through them, but just gander through there and you'll see things that are kind of like, oh, so that doesn't seem like it aligns with what they're talking about. Like the vision, I don't know.
No,
It just seems like the
well,
money's running thin. Is
it's
all.
running thin
So
because they're running into permit delays on different divisions. They're running into this kind of delay, but you should anticipate all that stuff. That should be anticipated. You can't come into a city and trying to revamp it and then don't expect the permits and everything else is going to take time. You come into New York City for just the street sweepers, they're like, you got to get 100 approvals from 100 different departments, from EPA to this to that. It's a
oh
nightmare.
yeah, that was the other thing. They sold some street sweepers, like 62 of them or something like that,
Right.
Yeah, but they don't put any
somewhere.
numbers at how much they sold them each for.
Or yeah, how much they sold them for, and how much they had to spend to get that profit.
Well,
Or you know what I mean. So
the
it's
city might put a gag order on that. That's why. In order to make the deal, I mean, remember, this is taxpayers' money. So,
I mean, we'll see come Q3 if they post those on time.
right,
See, the sentiment has already changed. Now I'm expecting it to be delayed.
well, that's the way. I mean, look, the way everything is between supplies and everything else, that's happening to all companies. I expect to have delays and little hiccups happen here and there. Of course, I expect it. That's forgivable. It's not forgivable not informing us. That's just I just can get past it.
Yeah.
He won't get another dollar from me until he starts explaining himself better.
Yeah, I own an auto body shop, and it's horrible right now. Like
Yeah,
some parts are 6-8 months just to get the part.
yeah.
Damn.
So that's just the way things are right now. Shipping, everything is delayed. Shipping's gotten better, but it's still in backlog on everything. I'm talking about everything. I mean,
Yeah, I'm in Michigan, and General Motors parts are built probably only an hour from my shop.
wow.
So General Motors parts have not been hard to get, but man, Ford and Chrysler, they have been impossible to get.
Ugh.
They have their
Chrysler,
factory. They have
Chrysler,
their factories
Chrysler,
in Mexico, don't they?
yeah, Chrysler's all in Mexico, and Ford's mostly in Mexico.
You
Well,
know,
Chev's got
Via's got a plant down there too.
that's where they do all their refits in Mexico.
Yep,
Yeah.
I actually saw one of the old Silverados on the highway the other day that said Via on it.
that would be cool.
Yeah,
I keep looking around here. I'm like, I see vans that look like them, and I'm like, let me see. No, 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 no,
yeah.
not
I
yet.
saw old. It's like an '08 Silverado driving down the expressway, and it said Via on it, and then it's electrifying something. So I followed it for a little while, but that was just a retrofitted truck.
Well, the New Jersey facility be open. It's probably December, and I'm gonna shoot over there. At least I get to see where some of my money went in person. And if God
Well,
forbid he
have
comes
you
down
gone
the
over and
hallway,
checked on?
Mr. Poor, I know how he looks like. If he comes down that hallway, he's gonna get an earful from me. Sorry.
You gotta call them out.
Oh no, no.
Did you?
Yeah,
Have you
I
got to
gotta
go?
tell him. Hey, you're doing a great job. Just I wish you would tell us what happened in the last 8 months. Can you answer some questions every now and then, please? Thank you. Bye.
You're in New Jersey.
No, I'm in New York.
Oh, okay.
I'll just drive
Did you?
over and I'm gonna take a lot of pictures and put it on the Discord once they open up the
Well,
facility.
I know there was rumors that deal fell through. But I never heard nothing.
Oh no, New Jersey
Wrote in
thing is
stone.
there. The building is there. It's all they're just getting permits and stuff because they're gonna do some manufacturing there too. But the building is done. Is there. They haven't brought the equipment in yet, but they're getting their permits and everything. The building's done.